Now, I first began to study Mother Teresa about 10 years ago when I read a biography of her. And two things struck me about this amazing woman's life. Now, as you all know, she established over 40 schools and over 50 schools and orphanages in impoverished Calcutta because that was her mission field. Well, when she was a young nun, she committed that no one would ever die alone if she could help it. And number two amazing fact is that over 10,000 people died in her arms. That is like so beyond what I can be. The point is that someone like that is worth listening to. Here's the quote that changed my life. Mother Teresa said, "I look at the person standing in front of me. I look through their eyes down into their heart to see their greatest need, and if it is within my power, I grant it." Well, at the time, I was an elected official. And my constituents were really upset about a variety of things. And, you know, people think elected officials are politicians, and we all know politics are... The word politics is derived from the Greek, poly meaning many and ticks meaning blood-sucking. So there was a lot of anger and people right in my face telling me what they wanted to know. And I came to realize they didn't want to hear what I thought. They just wanted to tell me what they thought. So I thought looking through their eyes down into their heart to see their greatest need would be a useful tool, and I began to practice it. Not long after that, I got to witness the most amazing use of this skill. I was sitting in the office of our superintendent, Dr. Carolyn Bouquet, an amazing leader, a wonderful, gracious, wise woman, and a role model for me. We had in the office a very, very upset set of parents, a father and a mother of a 9th grade boy, and they were furious because they believed that their child's teacher, counselor, principal, school, and the whole school district was against them because of the color of their skin. Now, folks, just parenthetically, that is a mindset. Anybody who perceives the world is against you for one and only one reason is straining life through their particular colander, and life is going to be tough. Now, I in no way want to diminish the tremendous challenges and inequities that have occurred with some of our minority groups in this country. But my point is, if you think everybody is against you because you're white or brown or yellow or purple, or because you're tall or short, or because you're old, or because you're young, or because you're divorced, or because you're not married, or because you're a cancer survivor, an incest survivor, or because, I don't know, whatever your thing, English is your second language, whatever your thing is, if you think everyone is against you for that one reason, and that's how you're straining life through your colander, the world's going to be a pretty hateful place for you. Well, these parents were really upset. And there were 4-letter words flying and accusations of racism. And I don't know about you, but when someone gets in my face and starts shouting at me that I'm a racist and I just met him, I tend to get kind of knotted up. Do you? Yeah, and it's all I can do to keep from just going into attack mode. Well, I watched Dr. Bouquet because fortunately I was not the talking person. I was the person sitting in the corner, and it was her job to handle this meeting. And I watched her very carefully. I figured she had 3 possible choices. Number 1, she could dismiss the meeting, send them away and say, you know what, I see you're really upset. Why don't you step out in the hall and calm yourself down, or we can reschedule this at a later time when you can be a little bit more calm and civilized, okay? She could have done that. Wouldn't that have been the appropriate corporate reaction? Wouldn't that have been just perfect? Because that's what we do in the corporate world. Well, she didn't do that. Second option. She could have gotten drawn into the argument about racism. She could have pulled out the statistics, because goodness knows we got it on hiring and student performance and promotions and all kinds of stuff, you know, but turns out you do not have to attend every argument to which you are invited. That's wisdom again, kicking in here late in life. And so she did not take that option, third option. She listened. She looked through their eyes, down into their heart to see the greatest need. And what do you suppose the greatest need was? What they needed was to feel that someone in a position of authority genuinely cared about their precious baby boy. Because you see, this wasn't an argument about racism or bad teachers. This was anger masking fear. And we know that anger masks a lot of emotions, but fear is one of the biggies. Because you see, they were just desperately afraid that their precious baby was going to become a 9th grade dropout. And we all know what the prognosis is for a 9th grade dropout. It is grim indeed. So I watched Dr. Bouquet. Took them quite a while to run down and use every nasty word they knew about 14 times, but finally, when they sort of petered out, Dr. Bouquet began to very quietly develop a plan for what the teachers would do, what the counselors would do, what the principal would do, what the school would do, what the district would do, what the parents would do, what the student would do. Now, what was the end result of this conference? Well, I'd like to think that those parents, having been given the gift of listening from an amazing servant leader, changed their mindset and no longer believed that everybody was against them for just one reason. But I doubt it. Who knows? What did happen, however, is the village closed around that child. We got him through the 9th grade, and in fact, 4 years later, I got to hand him his diploma. Today, he's in school completing an electrical engineering degree. So the system worked. Now, what can we learn from this? Well, true listening from the heart is a gift. What it means is you look through their eyes and you're studying intently their interior mind, their interior heart, their interior soul. See, lots of times in conversation, we're just playing conversation tag, like you get to be it for 30 seconds, and then you pause, and then I get to be it for 30 seconds and tell you my stuff, and then you get to be it. This is not listening. This is just back and forth taking turns. Really listening to someone is giving them the opportunity to talk until they are through, to tell their story at the pace and in the way that they want to. Now, how does this apply to you? What it means is that you wear a totally different mindset when you are listening to someone's heart speak. It's not about conversation. It's about giving the gift, and you can do that. It will improve relationships, particularly with spouses and kids, but colleagues, customers, clients, even the boss. So I challenge you to go out and begin practicing what Mother Teresa taught us all, which is listen with your heart.